You're not lost. You're just loud inside. Your thoughts aren't broken, they're looping. You've been trying to think your way out of noise, but thought can't silence thought. It only multiplies it. Still, breathe once. I've been there. Nights where your mind won't shut up, where you replay the same scenes, same decisions, and call it reflection when it's really recursion. That's not weakness. That's the brain running a program with no exit command. You don't need new answers. You need better questions. The right question doesn't add information. It subtracts illusion. It cuts through the static and reveals the signal underneath. There are 3 questions that do that. Not advice, not philosophy. Precision tools for a fogged mind. First, what is mind to control? Most confusion starts when your focus leaks into things you can't move. Other people, timelines, outcomes. You mistake influence for ownership. And every time you try to control what isn't yours, your biology interprets it as threat. The amygdala lights up. Adrenaline floods the system. You start managing everything, except yourself. But when you pull your focus back to what's truly yours, your response, your breath, your next action, the signal clears. The prefrontal cortex takes the helm. Thoughts slow. The system reboots. The Stoics called this command of the inner citadel. Neuroscience calls it attentional gating. I call it peace through precision. A student once told me he felt like his life was slipping. Too many directions. Too much pressure. I gave him one task: list everything causing stress, then cross out everything beyond control. He stared at the page in silence. Only 3 items remained. That silence wasn't emptiness. It was relief, the sound of command returning. Still. Now the second question. What state of mind am I solving from? Because your thoughts don't tell you the truth, they tell you your chemistry. When you're exhausted, everything feels impossible. When you're anxious, every delay feels like failure. When you're calm, the same world feels navigable. The brain filters reality through state. So before you decide, ask it aloud. What state am I solving from? If the answer is fear or fatigue, don't fix the problem, fix the state. One breath, one pause, one recalibration. Your body is the software update your thoughts are waiting for. Still. Final question. What would still do? Not what would fear do. Not what would ego demand. What would still, the version of you that moves slow, sees wide, and acts without noise, do right now? That question activates mirror neurons. You simulate the person you're trying to become. And the brain, loyal machine that it is, starts treating simulation as command. That's how identity rewiring begins. Not in revelation, but rehearsal. A Marine I once met used this in chaos. Before action, he'd whisper, "What would still do?" Then he'd move. Not fast, not reckless, just precise. He said the phrase felt like flipping a switch. His breath slowed, his aim steadied, and clarity followed like gravity. Control, state, still. 3 questions, 1 system. They form a hierarchy of clarity. Control organizes attention, state stabilizes perception, still defines identity. When you run all 3, confusion collapses, not because you solved it, but because you stopped feeding it. Think of your mind like an instrument. When untuned, every note collides. But when tuned, with the right frequency, even silence sounds like order. These questions are your tuning fork. Run them daily, morning, night, during chaos, until the questions stop feeling like tools and start feeling like instinct. And here's the secret most people miss. Clarity doesn't erase uncertainty. It just removes noise from uncertainty. You'll still face fog, but you'll know which direction feels true. You won't overthink, because thought will finally serve something higher. Command. Still. Tomorrow, when confusion comes, and it will, pause before reaction. Ask the first question, then the second, then the third. You'll feel it, the static thinning, the signal strengthening, the system aligning. That's clarity. Not something you find, but something you build, one question at a time. And when the noise finally fades, you'll realize something powerful. Silence isn't emptiness. It's instruction. It's the sound of the mind obeying itself. Still, lead, become. If this brought your thoughts into focus, comment "Clarity activated" below. Like and share this to help someone else cut through their mental noise. Subscribe to Vision Vortex for weekly rewiring, Stoic precision, neural design, and practical self-command. Stop overthinking. Ask these 3 clarity questions. Still, lead, become.